Sorry guys, a call came in and interrupted the network. So let me try to reconnect back my co-host while we continue the section. I just hope I'm able to get them. Kabir. Okay, I just hope they're able to come back on. Okay, there's one person here. A call came in and interrupted my network. Okay. Okay, Jake. Sorry about that. A call came in and interrupted my network.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, so I don't know, Mr. Kabir. I'm trying to also add Mr. Kabir.
I think he's going to check it and join.
Okay, I'll just wait for him. So while we're waiting for him, how's been the section so far?
Oh, it's been amazing. So, guys, if you're watching, you can drop. If you're watching, you can drop a review. What do you think? Are you learning? Are you learning?
Yeah. Are you learning? Is there anything that struck a chord for you? Is there anything new that you've learned, especially as regard land banking in Abuja or Lagos? Because these are more like the two major cities right now where going into land banking is very, very lucrative, and you want to be sure of what you're getting yourself involved in. You want to be sure if you're making good investments going into land banking. And I tell you the truth, I kid you not. Land banking is one of the easiest way you can multiply your money by just putting down that money and going to sleep while the money begins to grow. But money begins to multiply for you. And it can multiply so well if you're able to put in certain factors into consideration. It can multiply so well that if you sell, the return you get from that investment will be so massive you can use it to even buy and develop another project. And that is why most times when looking at land banking, we always advise that you don't do one plot. Because
Exactly.
land banking, if you can, consider going into land banking is acres, 6 plots, 10 plots. So consider going into land banking in acres, multiple plots, so that when eventually the value of those places appreciates, you're able to get good return on investment. Okay, welcome back, Mr. Kabir. So sorry, a call came into my phone and then it logged me out. Yes. Yeah,
We'll get better.
I was trying to say something about getting your land banking in acres, but I think we'll just come back to that later. Let's just continue what we were talking before. So I was initially talking about factors you need to consider when going into land banking, and I talked about government interest. Now, when there's a government interest in that particular location, what government interest does for you is the fact that it brings in infrastructure. Government interest brings in social amenities. You begin to see things like community schools or any other kind of schools. You see things like hospital, electricity, water supply. These are the factors that government interest can bring into a particular location. And when these things are already in place, there becomes a demand for people to want to live in that particular location. So it becomes natural for the value of your property to multiply based on demand. But if you buy into a location where there is really no government interest, there is no infrastructure, no road network, it will take a longer time for your property to appreciate in value than it will take when these factors are already in place or coming into existence within that location. A very practical example is there's this plot of land I sold for a client that was earlier last year. He bought the first plot at 6.5. As after 6 months, he bought the second plot at 7.5. Do you know the interesting thing? Before the next 6 months would elapse, that same property is now going for 23 million.
Mm.
And why is the price of that particular location going up? Because there is currently a road construction that is connecting to multiple routes being developed around that particular location. So because of that road construction, people are seeing the prospect of that particular place, knowing that when this road construction is done, accessing town or accessing anywhere from that particular location is very easy. In less than 20 minutes, no matter where you're going within Abuja, you've gotten there in less than 20 minutes. So it becomes very good access. There's very good access to and fro. There are multiple entry points to that particular location. You can enter from point A, point B, point C, point D. So there's now a high demand on that location. So if within 1 year, a property can go from 7.5 million to 23 million, it's already working against inflation. But if you have bought a property in a location where there is nothing as such being done, you know, even after 5 years, maybe you bought a property for 1 million, for instance. After 10 years, maybe fairly, you'll be able to sell that property for 5 million. And that 5 million might be a struggle. But in a location like this, you're certain that, give or take, if within 1 year it has gone from 7.5 to 23 million, that's almost times 2 of the amount, or times 3. Yeah, because times 2 will be 14. So this is about times 3 of the amount that the person bought that property. If within 1 year it can get that much, now imagine when you give that location 5 years, what will become of that particular place? As against buying in a location where there is no government interest. Okay, so that it doesn't feel like we're talking big money, big money. There's a plot of land personally I bought for 800,000, and within 6 months, that property went from 800 to 2.3 million within 6 months. And in less than 1 year, the property is selling for 3 million naira. What changed? Infrastructure. There was road network. What we saw when buying into the bush at that time, we saw that there was road network. They were already working on the road. We could see from the Abuja master plan that, okay, this road is connecting to this, connecting to this, connecting to that, and then they've started the work. It's not just here. See, they started the work, and then we keyed into it. And today, we've made times 3 of the actual amount. So it's not about, so it doesn't feel like we're talking big millions. This was a property I bought for 800,000. So it's not about the price you are buying the property. It's about what are the prospects within that location. Do they have good access? If they don't currently have it, what are the modalities in ensuring that this access comes to place in that particular location? Does the government have interest in that location as regards creating good access for that particular location? That is one. Secondly, is there electricity around that location? Because people want to live in an area where there's power supply. Is there water supply? You want to know if there's water within that location, because you have to survive. You can't survive without water. Now, is there social amenities? Are there schools? Are there hospitals? Are there marketplaces? These are also factors to consider, because these are things that people cannot live without. And when these factors are not in place, people do not want to stay in that location. But when these factors are in place, they begin to see that place as a place that is habitable, as a place that they can stay, they can live, their family can be there, because in case of emergency, there's a hospital close by, there's a primary health care close by. In case water supply, there's water supply. They don't have to travel a mile to get water. They don't have to travel a mile to charge their phone. There's electricity. They don't have to travel a mile to take their children to school. There are schools around them. So if these factors are in place, you will always be working against inflation when going into land banking. But if these factors are not in place, inflation might also get to you. That's all I can do for now.
Thank you. I think I have something to add up quickly there. For some of you that are listening to her, don't just imagine that you cannot buy bush. All these things must be in place before you do it. She's an expert, I know, but I just want to bring that to our attention. Is a multi-something industry that the knowledge is wide, and this session only cannot be able to get clarify of everything. But like she said, if you want to start, you can start from the scratch as a realtor. You can sell others. If you don't have any money at all, you can get started. Then when doing that, it might not be like you want to buy from where everything is in place, right? What she's saying, you got into the level, like she made an example, somebody buy from 7.5, just within few months, it has gotten to 2.23 million. These are how people just gather money for doing nothing. Then that person had 7.5 down. So that person might not be looking at bushy. I'm clarifying this because of starters are listening to us, that they might feel like I need to buy that already developed area, right? That's one thing. Herself, she mentioned that she bought 800.
Sorry to cut that. That place is still a bush. Oh. The place that he bought for 6 is still a bush. It's not developed. It's still a bush. And so it's not about being a bush, or what we are even talking about. When you talk about land banking, you're actually buying bush. But then you want to be sure of, okay, where are the location where government have interest? Even if these factors I have mentioned is not already there, but you can see that there are projections, that there are these are these. Like, sorry to cut you, like I said, right now there's a rush Karishi. People are going to Karishi. A lot of developers are going to Karishi. A lot of people are going to Karishi. Karishi is still pretty much village. Even though there are houses around Karishi, people are living around Karishi. There's a Navy quarters in Karishi. There are a lot of things in Karishi. But for someone who lives in Abuja, Karishi may not really be the place for him or her. But then, because there's currently they are trying to move Apple to Wasa, and the closest place with low level living would be Karishi. People are rushing to Karishi. People want to invest in Karishi because they know that in less than 5 years, there will be more demand for accommodation within Karishi, Wasa area. Since these traders are moving en masse towards that location. People want to
Just
live
give me a
close to
minute.
where they
Give me
are.
a minute, guys.
People want to live close to where they are doing business. So there will be demand for housing. There will be demand for housing. Now, if you have a house in those locations, you are able to rent it out for good money, or you're able to even sell if you want to sell. If you have a land, if you're doing land banking in that location, if you have a bare land in that location, in 5 years or less, you'll be able to sell that plot of land for good amount. You know, so it's not just about the developed place. If you're looking at a place that is developed, you know you have good money to put into that. What we're talking about is developing area, and then the interest of the government. What are the amenities that is coming around that location? What are the projections around that location? Because if these projections are not there, it will come in near future, but it's going to affect the ROI you will get if you're looking at doing it for shorter term, as against longer term. Yeah, that's just it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Please, let's give it up for her. Really, this clarification has really, if I'm listening, sometimes my head, And I'm sure that we have different kind of people listening to us, so that's why it's good that we clarify that point. Before Mr. Jake will come, I would have loved that he respond to it. Thank God you are here.
Okay.
Mr. Jake, I don't know if you can hear
Yes,
me.
I
We
can.
have a lot of
I have power
environmental
issues.
issues.
That's why I went to.
Okay.
Can you
We
guys
have
hear
a
me
lot of
clearly?
yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Please. A lot of environmental issues. By the way, I'm suggesting that maybe we'll just make do with these challenges and mitigation and then end this session for today. Then maybe when next we come, we can talk about liquidity and cash
I
flow.
think we can.
We'll
I
take
think we
it
can cover all of that. We can cover all of that. So
all of that. I'm just considering you that you said you might be going for inspection and
yeah,
all of
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I know you're a very busy man,
I
sir.
still have some. I still have some. We're all busy. It's just planning. I still have some. I still have some time. Yeah. So
Okay.
for just to shed just a little bit light. So let's not be like I'm expanding on what she has said because she covered that. Miss Cynthia covered that well. So for some stuff that when added that is very very important also is we for environmental issues, I think it's also something that's very, very important to us as well, to everybody that's looking at land banking, because a lot of people that are looking at land banking, their goal is like when I tell my clients, like it's very great to buy like an acre. If you have the money, buy an acre. You want to how you're going to use this. A lot of people just think they want to buy an acre. I'd like to give them a breakdown so that they know how they can go around it. You buy an acre, you can use 2 plots for land banking. All of them is for land banking, but the goal is when you want to use this plot, 2 plots for land banking, 2 plots for development for your own residential house, then another 2 plots for maybe business, something like rental income you want to use. Now, when that end goal is coming to play, now when you're looking at development, you want to be sure that this place that you invested in land banking is something that the Land Use Act, it complies or it works around what you want to use. You don't want to go and buy a land that is for agricultural purpose and you think you want to go and build your house there. Government will pursue you. You sell all that land to a farmer. You get me? Government will pursue you. So the Land Use Act is also very important. So when the Land Use Act is coming into play in terms of this land, this is what I want to do there. I want to build a house there. You want to be sure that this land, the IEA, there's a EIA. The EIA is that's the environmental impact assessment has been carried on that land. They call this EIA. The environmental impact assessment will be carried on this land, and the processes, the systems for this land comes into play. Now we're looking about the kind of pollutions, because a lot of people now come and tell me, I have some clients that their own fears now with Nigeria is with Ibejuleki axis, with the Dangote refinery. This one that there's refinery here. Are you sure that we can deal with the air pollution when this starts? See, I'm not going to lie. As much as that is a new type of refinery, in the future we don't know what it holds. This EIA assessment has shown that there's still going to be air pollution, there's still going to be water pollution, there's still going to be all this kind of pollution. But oh well, I believe Dangote has made provisions for all of this. So you want to be sure that all this in the future, this has been done. You also, I think, on the side, while you're taking advantage of this land banking, you're also running all this. You're doing diligence on all of this. You're making sure you're checking Land Use Act. You're also checking the environmental impact assessment on this land to be sure that when it's time for you to reap the fruit of your investment for personal purpose, you can carry it out. If not, my bro, my sister, my uncle, my auntie, it is going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult for you to be reaping benefits of house that you think that, okay, I bought this thing with all my money, I want to build here, and you're realizing that this place is a place, it's been set out for agricultural purpose, it's been set out for this, and this thing especially affected people in the Lekki axis. You're seeing a lot of especially where this comes into play is places that you see that they are breaking down houses. It is because it doesn't correlate. You're building on a house that's been set out for some other purpose. You're building on the house that's been set out for canal. You're building on the house that's been set out for road. They will break your house. If those people had, gone to do proper diligence to be sure about the Land Use Act, that's when they will know that, okay, they will not have this environmental issue. So this is something that you want to put into play. There's a lot more we can talk about this, but I think this has given you an insight of how, you know, these environmental, you know, issues and how you can go around it. You know,
Before
I've
the end
expanded on
of
that.
flooding, something like flooding and all of
Yes,
those
flooding,
challenges. Can you add
very,
up?
very important. Yes, exactly. This is what, you know, this environmental impact assessment is going to bring to you. It's going to tell you, you know, more about the flooding in this area, the noise pollution, the air pollution, everything that can come into play, you know, for this location. This is where this comes into play. But you know, a lot of people, they're buying bush, so they think, okay, since I'm buying bush, you know, it's not something I can think about. Yes, buying bush is great, but what is your long-term goal? Are you looking at, okay, I'll hold this for 10 years, I'll sell it? Yeah, some people are looking at, okay, I want to hold this for 10 years, and after 10 years, I want to start building on it. If you know you have those kind of insights, you want to use the land after you've invested in it for a very long time, then you want to be sure that you are running all this, you know, all this search to be sure that, okay, it's something that you can carry out. For people that land bank, that they just want to buy and they want to sell, you probably don't have a problem with that. But if you know you're buying and you want to start building, you're buying, you want to develop, you're buying, you want to do this, it's very, very important that you know, you run all this search. Thank you very much.
If you are watching this right now, you are probably watching it for free, just your data and airtime, right? Some people are going to be paying $1,000 just to watch the whole of this series. So stay tuned and listen carefully. I hope you are getting value. If you are getting value, share. Let others benefit while it's still free, okay? They said a lot of things that might sound abstract to you. EIA, that's Environmental Impact Assessment. Acres, 6 plots in a 6 plot at the same time means 1 acre, right?
Yes.
Most of these things might not be clear to you. That's why I said you might need additional knowledge, okay? Cynthia, please, can you talk about fake papers, you know, quickly? Please don't make it too
Okay.
long. Just, I know if they want to get more value, let
Okay,
them
so
come.
um fake papers. I think I earlier talked about fake papers when I was addressing the first question that he asked.
Yeah.
Now, these days they clone a lot of papers. I'll give a very practical example, and then there's this property I was supposed to sell. My uncle wanted to buy, so I was in the process of carrying out due diligence. I'd asked for the documents, and the developer refused to give that document. Now, there's one thing that you need to be very, very conscious about. Whenever you want to do search on your property and you ask the developer for their search document and they just give you a file number and say go to Aegis or go to, just give them the file, run.
Mm.
If they are not able to give you the documents to go and do search, they have something they are hiding. There's something they are hiding. That's why they don't want to give you the documents, because they know that giving you that document will expose them. Some people will tell you, because of because of a scam, that people clone documents, people do this, people do that. Yes, I know that those factors are also in place, but they can also do something about it. Why not they just use, while sending it to you, clean some parts, you understand? Clean some parts, don't make it, clean some parts and give you the document so that you're able to go to the designated authorities and do your due diligence. But no, they'll tell you, just take the file number. When you take the file number to the to designate, most times, yes, when you take that file number there, you will see it. But why are they not giving you the document itself? Because this was something I experienced practically. I had pleaded for document, they refused to give me. I went to Aegis. Aegis said, and that this information is in their system, but they want to see the document. They said, although this document, this land is showing that it is under area council. I went to area council. Area council said, and this information that they gave is accurate, but then I want to see the document. So when they were kept emphasizing on, I want to see the document, I want to see the document, I said, okay, how much will it cost for you to, because the developer have said, the only way you can see the document is in my office. I cannot give it to you to go and do search. Come to the office and come and see it. I had to pay extra. The people from the area council, the CIS from Asia have confirmed that the document is still under area council. I had to pay them extra to follow me to the office to see the document. And after seeing that document, they told me clearly that if you're going into this transaction, you're on your own. That this document was forged. Forged by someone in the who had the power to actually issue the document, but was not the right person who was meant to issue the document. and which has made that document null and void. Now, right now, it seems like there is no issue, but in the near future, there will definitely be an issue, because the designated authority who is supposed to issue it out that document may have also issued out that document to another person. So what now happens is, when you come to tender your own document and the person who came with the right person who is supposed to issue the document comes, the other person is valid, more valid than yours. So at that point, you have lost money investing. So it is very, very, very important that you do due diligence. And like I said, this is something that you need a consultant for, because ordinary on your own, you would have just felt like, since you have the file number and the information they gave to you from the company is corresponding with whatever they have on their system over there, it's a good buy. So you would want to go and rush into that investment. But if you don't pay close attention and keen attention to certain information, you don't know that there is a need for you to actually go beyond just accepting what they are giving to you, but trying to find out that if there are other lapses, if there are other factors that you need to put in place, or you need to look out for. So yes, fake documents are everywhere, but then there's a way to go about it. And the easiest way to go about it is actually dealing with a trusted real estate developer. A trusted real estate developer that has track record. That's one of the easiest ways to deal with fake documents. When you're dealing with someone who has track record, who also has integrity, you know that you have solved 50% of your problem before you can now even
Very true.
proceed to now say, okay, let me see your document, let me do this, let me do that and that. But if you're
Very,
working
very
with
true.
a developer that is still upcoming, I am a realtor today, I might go into full development tomorrow, and definitely I will be a starter. So I am not downplaying the roles of people who are just getting into the industry, who may not have had track record. But then if you're working with people are like that, there's a need for you to actually carry out due diligence. Be very sure of what you're getting yourself involved into. Not everybody has integrity. Not everybody have the mind of Christ like you think you do. Some people are in their business to swindle others of their money. So it is very important that you carry out your due diligence, engage the services of a consultant to help you check out for certain things that you may not be seeing because you don't really understand how the industry works. You may need to work with a consultant who is in the industry, who understands, who knows the right question to ask, who knows the right document to request for, who knows what and what need to be in place for you to say, okay, this is a good investment. Yeah. So that's it from my end. I don't know if there's something you want to add while we wait for Mr. Kapil to come up.
I think I think I think you have really, really, shared quite an expressive explanation on this land document fake documentation. Fake documentation is it's something that needs to be looked at thoroughly, very, very, very thoroughly, because a lot of times if you're not aware about this, and if you're not consulting or working with a professional that has integrity, that has
Very
track
important.
record, there's a very, very high chance that you might just buy gab. You might buy gab. They might just give you the same paper they used to sell suya, and you think it is it is a legit document. Because what do you know about it? What do you know about what the stamps and the signatures or the names of people in this documentation? You might bring it with another land document and look at it, it looks the same.
It
But
looks
there
the
are
same.
certain things like names, signatures, stamps, that only people that deal with this well will tell you that, okay, this is shady, would know. So you want to work with people you work with a legal team. It's very important. Even as realtor, I myself, I know how many lawyers I have for personal reasons. When I know, okay, I want to reach out to these people so that I can go around, have better knowledge on deals I'm going into. Because it's very, very important you do all of this, because for your own future, because round up now, because okay, Mr. Kabir, I think Mr. Kabir is trying to join.
Okay, I've not seen him from my end.
I'm seeing him at the comment section.
I'm seeing him on the comment section, but he's not showing. Not
So
showing.
you please, guys, you want to be able to, land transaction in Nigeria is something that is very, 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 very. I don't know if I would say it is very difficult or it's very something that's crucial for you to be doing without working with professionals. Please, you want to be sure that everything you're doing proper due diligence, engage with reputable lawyers. You want to be sure that you're conducting physical visits, you're checking, verifying that land title document, you're verifying very, very well everything, deed of assignment, your consultation, survey, everything. You want to be sure you're checking with land registry, just as you talked about. You want to be sure you're working with these people. Pay the extra money if you have to be sure that the people who would run this thing for you, they will do it for you well, so you don't end up losing the entire money. Pay the money that you have to. I was just in my last session yesterday, I was explaining about working with experts. That was what I was expanding on. Working with experts, it's very important that you work with experts, and don't have the pain of paying a fee for this expertise and end up losing the entire money. This is very key, because I see a lot of people have issues with paying experts fee. You see people they are telling you that this is what is going to cost for you to be able to use my time and my intelligence and my money. But to pay that money is very crucial. So you don't want to pay it. You carry it out yourself and you end up you lose your money. Ha, God. Pay all the money you need. Pay the extra. You see what she said? She had to pay the people at the land registry extra money so that they can go to the office to check it out. If she hadn't done that, pay that little money, those people would have done and should have gone ahead with doing it. At the end of the day, realize that everything was gab and you lose the entire money, and someone will be dragging your neck. You're not able to sleep. They'll call you money tonight. God, that's the worst thing ever. I don't like to get myself involved in any transaction that will deal with endless calling. So you want to be sure that you're working with this expert so that they will help you, tell you the red flags, that you will be well off and you will run away if you need to. So please don't solely rely on verbal, agreement. Someone will just tell you that, okay, this is good, it's very good, check everything is good now. Can't you see it? It's not your field. Let somebody that has, the expertise go through it and tell you if it's good or not. So you want to consult with local experts and be patient, do deals, don't rush. Someone is telling you, there was a time, couple of months ago, my brothers, they wanted to buy some land. Like, they didn't want to reach out to me because they're like, guy, you're selling big land and you want to buy this land. I told them, okay, see, if you guys don't want to buy this land because you have these things that this place is good, sure, but please just consult with me. Let me see the documentations of the properties. They was like, sure. It was the day they start, after the first conversation we had, when they told me their interest, couple of weeks after, they have done everything. They did not tell me it was the day they wanted to pay for this land. They told me, oh, so I hope you know wanted to pay for which land. Which land are you talking about? Which land? You guys didn't tell me anything. They say, so they are already there. They wanted to pay for the land. They want to make transfers because I was with my other brother. I was going to make the transfer. That was when this thing came to my knowledge. They're about paying. Yes, we are seeing you, Mr. Kabiru. Thank you for joining. I was like, they're about paying for this land. Like, I hope you don't want to pay for that land. I was like, which land? You guys are paying for land. You've even seen location. You've talked about it. You don't tell me. I was like, yes, I'm about to pay for the land. Is there? I was like, okay, what is the documentation for this land you guys are paying for? That's what I just need to know. I was like, oh, so it is, we are buying from the family, and they are saying this. There was no survey, there was nothing, no documentation. It was just
Just
buy
want to
land and
drag
we'll
that
just give you
family now.
receipts.
Money,
But
rather.
yes,
Just want
I
to
was like,
buy
do you know this family must have
property
sold it
money.
into like 1 million people? I was like, okay, you know what I told them how I went, because I didn't want it to seem like, okay, I'm bringing professionalism too much, I'm just doing too much. I was like, okay, you know what? Okay, you have a lawyer. Everybody has a lawyer. You have a lawyer, right? So just tell your lawyer about this. You know what? That's the advice I'm going to give you. You don't want to work with my own expertise. Tell your lawyer about this. Be patient before you pay for that land. If you like, stay there, just stay there and just tell the other guy, tell my other brother to just be patient. This is what, like, hey, now nothing's wrong. I told tell your lawyer about this. Tell him now about this, that you want to buy this, and let him ask you some information. If you can provide, if they can provide you, fine. It was like, okay. They drafted. I was like, be patient. You need to be patient when you're buying some things. It was like, okay. He consulted his lawyer. When you consulted the lawyer, I was like, see, if you jump into that thing, you will cry. You better just. It was the same thing. The guy was asking him, what is the survey? What is the land? What are they giving you? How are you sure those families are the one that own that land? If not, they've not collected it from them. And it was the same thing the guy told them, even more, asking more questions and even asked. And it was like, the guy was like, oh, see, we cannot buy this now. I was like, exactly. You want to work with experts, ask the right questions. You don't know the right questions. Sometimes everything in this life is questions. If you're not, the questions you don't know, so there are some people that know the right questions to ask, and that is going to lead to, more expressions, more opening a lot of things. So you want to work with experts, and you need to work with patience. Don't be too hasty, especially in land issues, because land issues is like road that's taking a lot of people to where they don't know. Thank you very much.
I don't know where to start from, but I have a few things to say. If you've been
Yes,
following my
man.
sessions, you found out that I teach a lot of these things because you need to prepare yourself. You need to learn really before you start doing something. But what I noticed with poor people, or a lot of people who are not doing well financially, they actually try to do something before they know about it, and
Yeah,
that's why
starting.
their finances are in mess. By the way, I went there a
Exactly.
few minutes ago. I'm also an international man like Mr. Jake. If you don't know Mr. Jake, he sells properties in Dubai, UK, US, and all of that, right?
Yeah.
But for me, I'm an e-commerce guy. So I also have an international partners that I deal with. Take, for example, in Zambia. And I want to relate that experience here. If you are dealing with Nigerians and you don't know what you are doing, you are not learned, you are not holding experts. This one that even Mr. Jake and Miss Cynthia, they are also working with experts. Cynthia mentioned, Mr. Jake mentioned that he has a personal lawyer that he had to reach out to clarify some things. The same thing with Miss Cynthia. So for you that you are starting up now, you don't want to do some of these things. You don't want to hold somebody to pay little amount so that you can save the bigger amount. This is very, very important to your journey. Now, the story I want to relate with you is that we made a transaction with a Zambian customer, and our agent has taken the money from the Zambian customer. So to send it to us, right? Then where she's supposed to send it, like a Western Union or whatever she was supposed to send it, what the agent that is to send it is telling us is that if it's in Nigeria, I don't want to deal with you. Because we ask, why? This is our money. Your services is just to transfer and you take your charges. He said, no, he's never going to send a money to any Nigerian. Why? Because in some times past, he has sent money to some Nigerians. They came back claiming that they did not receive the money. It became an issue. And the money has been cashed out, like seen from his end that this money has been cashed by the same person.
Mm.
So it now became a problem between the sender and the person that sent it there, the agent. So that you see is an issue. If you are dealing with a Nigerian, you need to be smart. You need experts inside the troubles to be able to navigate yourself, right? We've done a lot when it comes to the challenges in real estate, and I hope that this has clarified a lot of questions. In case you buy into this video and you are watching right now, you have more questions, please come to our DM, meet any of us. Perhaps we're going to develop a platform where you can access all of us and always have the opportunity to ask your questions so that we keep guiding. It's a mentorship session. Like I said, I'm using this to empower 1 million people to get $1 million each in their account. And until we achieve that together. So, Mr. Jake, I don't know if it's still right for us to look at liquidity and cash flow, looking at our.
Yeah, yes. Let's cover that. Let's just finalize
Okay,
it.
very
Let's
good,
cover that.
very good. Thank you for the energy. So, under liquidity and cash flow, I have few questions. I know you guys you are expert in this field. I'm going to do justice to it. In case I don't ask anything right, you can help me to. So now, liquidity is an issue, especially cash flow for some of us that are in business, or we are business owners. Because you don't expect me to tie down my money when I need the same money to be able to do my business. And if I must invest, of course, I want to invest. So how do I manage it? How can I overcome that liquidity of a thing in terms of the land banking and minimize the holding costs of my investment to be able to
Okay.
generate cash flow, to be able to generate cash flow continuously while still doing land banking?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. There's something very important that I need to put out there, especially as regards our land banking. When it comes to land banking, you don't want to do land banking with your business funds, with the funds that you're using for your business. If, for instance, you're just starting off and you're looking to expand your business, Do not take out funds. Okay, thank God we're able to get back. Yeah, so you don't want to take out funds that when you take out that funds, your business will suffer. You want to use a portion of your money